What is that sister cell that is being sent out to all the appropriate areas of your body what is it doing? Reprogramming the biology to respond to what you have just encoded in your cellular structure. You do that. And whether you continue with the pattern of fear or whether you continue with the pattern of feeling safe, that's what's being laid down. That's ultimately at the upshot of being unwell. Alright? Third center is massive because your integrity lives right here. Right? Ego and integrity. And how honest you are. Honest to self, honest to others, how you honor yourself. And you know, we can say that we are really nice people, and we are. And as women, being most of in the room, please excuse men, but women have a program running that we need to be there and do everything for others. Mothers, taking care of children, taking care of husbands, always running this process. Men are doing the same thing in their language. They're always the ones who feel they have to go out. They create the protection, they create the safety, they give the family that structure. We work beautifully together in a harmonious complement. But if we are always in that process of negating how we feel to satisfy the husband at the end of the day because we know that he's been out working and he has been creating our safety zone, our home family structure, our money and all of that, and we really don't want to do that anymore, then we start negotiating to ourselves. That's a violation on our integrity and our honesty, and we tell ourselves lies all the time. I'm happy. I'm happy about that. That's fine. They never think of me. I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. The man's going out and he's thinking, I'm happy about having to get up at 6 every single morning and drive for an hour in the city, sitting in traffic. I have to deal with that man who just irritates the crap out of me. And then I have to make the same journey home. And what do I get at the end of the day? My wife is sitting there and she's telling me everything that I'm doing wrong. And oh, I'm happy I'm married. Because we don't get really honest. And the honesty, and that is the love factor for me, is when you can look at the person and you can say, I'm just not happy with this, we have to renegotiate. My integrity, my honor code, everything in here is telling me that we are not really aligning in our life goals. So let's pull it apart for a minute and let's actually look, what do you need? What do I need? Let's start a new program. If we actually were taught those skills when we were growing up and into teenage, instead of trying to please people, man, woman, always trying to please the other person at the expense of ourselves. A lot of the illnesses that are really coming in through this part of our body, and I'm talking about glandular illnesses too, your pituitary glands, right? All of that, the fight or the flight, the safety in the world, how do I feel? All that would then come into an alignment, and you would be a lot better able to process. Wonder about gallbladders and liver problems and all the stomach ulcers. It's like chaos. I say it's your point of chaos, and when I'm doing a reading, it is literally like a tornado I see. And if you've had an ulcer, you will see the point of the tornado and it will go down, and it is like a volcano that explodes. Because every time you say, I'm happy, your body says, no, you're not. And now you're going to feel the consequences of that as your heartburn rises and as your blood starts to boil and as the arthritis sits into your joints. Oh, my elbow's sore, my knee's stiff, my neck's really sore. Which part of the body are we going for here? I'm not moving on in my life. Maybe the marriage has served its purpose, but you know what? I'm going to stay because I'm not safe. So my knees, my legs, my hips, things, you know, because I'm not moving, body movement. I mean, you're really not that difficult to work out if you actually take a look at this, but that's healing. And that's how this center actually works with you. So if you actually look at this, it is your personal power in relationship to your ego, okay? And it works very much on your self-esteem, and endurance is a huge one you will learn to work with on this one. Because you will feel like you are enduring. You can endure a very long marriage. You can endure a really bad relationship with siblings. You can endure an awful lot. But know what's happening in the cell structure as you're enduring that. But sometimes we need to go through this because that's part of the cosmic plan. As we get up to the 8th center, as we get up to the higher altitudes, you'll start to see the program as to why these people are doing this. It's not against you, it's for you. This is your victim conscious part of your biology. You'll meet your victim here every time. Victim, 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 victim. It loves this part of your body. Okay? So when we are looking at this, remember how we measure ourselves against other people. That's what we're going to program in our body. And we want to be accepted. We are taught to conform. We are taught that you don't step outside the box. And if you are good at something, how dare you tell anybody about it? Who do you really think you are in that process? How good do you think you are? Instead of understanding that that's the beauty of why you're here, instantaneously, in this moment, it is to show the world your light. Think, you know, what do you excel at? Well, go after it. Because that's why you're probably here on the earth, and it might be something that you've been wanting to do for 30 years but doesn't earn a living. You can't earn a living when you write a book. You can't earn a living out of that. You've got to get really practical. You've got to do this. How about balance? Because to me it's always the balance. Yes, you have to take care of business and the physical, but at the same time you have to take care of the inner. Because if you're happy in here, you will be a happier person out there, and people will like you a whole lot more in the grand scheme of life. And you might find yourself at the end of the day liking yourself. So Louise Hay says, do your mirror work. Tell yourself you love yourself. And I cracked up laughing and went, well, that's challenging. 3rd center issues have been big for me throughout my life. How do you look? How do you, all the bits? It's all the same for us all. So I stand in front of the mirror, I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm going, I really do, I love, and then I cracked up laughing, and then I brought myself back to center, and I stood there, and I'm going, I really do love myself, you know. And then I would crack up laughing like a school kid and bring myself back to center. It took a lot to actually stare at myself in the face and actually say those words to myself. I only ever did it once, okay? I figured I'd prove the point to myself that truly the underneath program, I could say to other people when I didn't have to look myself in the face, I like me, I like who I am, I like how I look, I can say that. But when you actually have to stare yourself in the face and look at yourself in the eye, you know that it's not true in here. You know that you are actually telling lies to yourself, and you better go in and take a look at what's creating that, right? So that's the kind of work that you can do and have a bit of fun with in this center.